Okay, chapter 3.2 is about application of equations, applications in your word problems. So in order to complete this section, we have to understand percent. Okay, percent. So here is a basic percent equation. Okay, basic percent equation is really simple. Like 20% of some number. Okay, what? Because like for example, 20% of one number is 30. That means this is an equation. This is an equation. So percent times the base will give you an amount. It's on some amount. So percent times the base. Percent times base. Like the tax rate. The tax. Let's say once if you buy a goods that costs like if the tax is 5%, 5% of whatever the price of the item. So if a computer, let's say computer is $1,000, then if the tax rate is 5%, then what we do? We multiply $1,000 by 5%, right? 5%. So that's the amount of tax. So the equation is really simple. Percent times the base will be the amount of tax or whatever. So we can write it as PB, P times B is equal to A. PBA. P times B is equal to A. So based on this, there are three variables. One is percent, base, and amount. So two of these three variables are given, then we can find the value of the other third variable. So for example, 20% of one number is 30. So let's write an equation. Is means equation. Is means equation. So 20%. Okay, 20% means 0.2, isn't it? Always we have to convert percent into a decimal. Percent. 20% means 0.2. Okay, 0.2. 50% means 0.5. 100% means 1. Okay, so percent. So 20% of one number. That means one number is the base. This is the base, isn't it? Base. So in this case, of means multiply. Multiply. So 20% of one number means multiply these two numbers, 20% and the number. So we don't know the number, so make it a variable x. So 20. So let's use a variable b because this is the base. One number is the base, isn't it? This is the base. So why don't we use b instead of what is okay? Let's use b as a base. So 20% of one number, so 0.2 times what? The base should be equal to, this means equal sign, right? This means equal sign. This means equal sign. All right, so 0.2b is equal to 30. Then what is b? How do you find b? Do you remember last section? We want to get rid of what? 0.2, right? 0.2. We want to get rid of this 0.2. So we can divide by 0.2, divided by 0.2. So b is equal to 100. Okay, so 100, isn't it? Divided by 2 is 15, so 150. So 20% of 150 is, 20% of 150 is equal to 30. So the base, in this case, the base should be equal to 150. All right, let's try the next example. So this is, what percent of 40 is equal to 30? This is always the same, isn't it? This is the percent. This is the base. This is the percent. So we don't know what percent, so let's make it an x. And then this is the base. And this is the amount, the amount. So we can write it as PBA, right? PBA. So percent. So why don't we use this? Since this is the percent, this is the percent. So why don't we use variable p? Any variable is fine, percent. So PBA, right? PBA. So the equation is this. What percent? I don't know. So let's make it a P. And then of means 40. Multiply. So P times 40 is equal to 30. Then how to find? So let's find out the value P. So how? We divide each side by what? Divide each side by 40. So we can get rid of 40. So B is equal to, P is equal to 30 over 40. 30 over 40, that is 3/4. What's 3/4? 3/4 is 0.75, isn't it? 0.75. Okay, now we got the p-value, percent value. Percent value is 0.75. Then this is equal to, we have to convert this one into percent. We want to show the number in percent, so that is 75%. So that's the answer, right? So 75% of 40 is 30. 75%. Convert. Always convert into a percent. Okay? Convert into percent. That's important. Okay, let's try more example. Okay, what is 25% of 200? Ah, look at this. 25%. This is the percent. And 200 is the base, right? Base. So we are looking for the amount. We are looking at the amount. So the amount A is equal to 25%. Okay, 25% is, isn't it 0.25, right? 0.25. So always convert into, when you calculate, write the percent in decimal. So 0.25 times the base, 200. So the amount is equal to, okay, 25% of 200 is it 50, right? 50? Okay, use a calculator. So that will be 50. So that's the amount. So, the basic percent equation is really simple. There are three variables. Okay, percent, base, and amount. Percent, base, and amount. So percent times the base is equal to the amount. PBA. Three variables. So two variables, the values for two variables are given, then we can find the value of the other variable. Okay, the format is PB is equal to A. So finding the base is important. Okay, let's review the percent. Converting percent into decimal and decimal into percent. Okay, we know that this is really important concept. 100% is equal to 1. Okay, the percent, if 100% is equal to the decimal 1. So 100% means 100 out of 100, 100 out of 100. So that is 1. So 1% means 1%. 1% means 1 out of 100, right? 1 out of 100. So if you write 1% into a fraction, it will be 1 over 100. And 1 over 100 is in decimal is what? 0.01. So you can replace the percent with 1 over 100 or 0.01. Doesn't matter. So let's check. Let's convert 20% into a decimal. Okay, 20% means what? 20 out of how many? 100. Or replace this 20. Replace the percent with what? 1 over 100. Okay, or replace the percent. Replace the percent with what? 1 over 100. Then that is 20 over 100. So 20% means 20 out of 100. So this is 2.5, right? That is 2 over 10. 1.5, 1 over 5, 0.2, right? So you can write it, okay, we don't need it, 0.5, 0.2. So, okay, actually 20% is 20 out of 100, and then simplify the fraction, so 1/5. Or, if we write it in decimal, it will be 0.2. Okay, that's 20%. All right, how about 33 and 1/3%. All right, so first of all, we have to write the fraction, improper fraction. This is a mixed number, so write the mixed number in improper fraction. So improper fraction is this, 33. 33 times 3, the denominator, plus the numerator percent, right? Everyone know this, right? So what we do is multiply this 33 by the denominator and then add 1 to the result. So that is 100 over 3%. And then what's the percent? Let's get rid of this percent. Let's get rid of this percent. What's the percent? You can replace 1%. Replace 1% into 1 over 100, right? 1 over 100. And then reduce it. It becomes 1/3. Can you see it? So this percent is replaced by what? 1 over 100. And then simplify the fraction, so we got 1/3. Okay, let's try the same thing, similar thing. So this is a mixed number, so 66 times 3 plus 2 over 3%. Then the numerator is 200, isn't it? 200 over 3%. And then replace this percent with what? Replace the percent with 1 over 100. Because this percent can be replaced by what? The 1% means 1 out of 100, right? Okay, so that is equal to, reduce 202, 200 divided by 100 is 2. So this is equal to 2/3, right? 2/3. All right, let's try another one. 16 and 2/3%. So the numerator is 16 times 3 plus 2 over 3%. Then the numerator is, what is the numerator? 50 over 3%. And then 50 over 3. 1% is equal to 1 over 100. So that is equal to 1 over 6, isn't it? And then reduce it, so 50 divided by 100 is 1 over 2. So 1 over 6. All right, so we just converted percent into fraction. And decimal is just, use the calculator, it will give you the decimal. All right, so based on this information, let's find example 1, the answer. Okay, 12 is 33 and 1/3% of what percent? So this is, what percent? One number. 33 and 1/3%. This is the percent, right? Percent. And this is the base. And this will be the amount, right? Amount. So we can write an equation. 12 equals what? 12 equals, this means 12 is equal to, let's convert 33. Let's convert the percent, 33 and 1/3% into a fraction. Because, percent, we have to rewrite it. When we write an equation, we have to remove the percent. So convert this percent into decimal or fraction. So this is equal to 99/100 over 3%. This is the one in this example. I'm just doing it again. So 100 over 3, replace the percent with 1 over 100. So this is equal to 1/3, right? 1/3. So 1/3. So 12 is equal to 1/3 times the base. The base is B. Then let's find the B. So how do we find the B? Okay, get rid of 1/3 from the right side. How do you get rid of 1/3? Okay, multiply the reciprocal. Multiply each side of the equation by the reciprocal. What is the reciprocal of 1/3? 3, right? 3. So multiply the left-hand side of the equation by 3, the right-hand side by 3. Reciprocal 1/3 is 3. Then this will be, the left side is 36, the right side is b. Interchange the sides. So the base is equal to what? 36. So actually 12 is equal to 1/3 of 36. Okay, let's try problem 1. Okay, pause and you try. Okay, are you done? Okay, what percent? 27 is what percent of 60? Look at this. This 60 is the base, right? Base. And what percent is the percent, right? Percent. And then 27 is the amount. So we can just write the equation. Okay, amount is 27. Okay, 27 is means equal sign. What percent? I don't know. So let's make it a P of 60. What percent of 60? So multiply the base. Then from this, 27 is equal to P times 60, right? So let's get rid of this 60. Right, divided by 60. Then you can cancel out this 60. Then what is P? Okay, let's find P. Okay, so P, the right side is P, and the left hand side is, we can divide by 3, then 9 over 20. 9 over 20. So P is equal to 9 over 20. Then what's 9 over 20? We have to write the percent. Okay, percent. So that is equal to 0.45. Right, 0.45. So this means 45%. Right? So 27 is 45% of 60. 45% of 60. Okay, once we have decimal for the percent, then convert the decimal into percent. We wanna answer in percent. Okay, example 2. Okay, this is the summary of the example 2. Okay, there are 1.2 million dogs or litters were registered, and the most popular breed was Labrador Retriever. And the number of the Labrador Retrievers is 172,841. So the question is, what percent of the registration? So the number of registration is what? 1.2 million, right? 1.2 million. So out of this 1.2 million were the Labrador Retrievers. Okay, isn't it PBA? So the what percent? What percent is the percent? This is what we're gonna looking for, and the registration is 1.2 million. 1.2 million, right? Million. This is the base, and this were the number of Labrador Retrievers. We don't know what this one is. So that is the amount, right? That's the amount. So we can rewrite. Okay, the amount is this. So this number of Labradors were registered. So when we write an equation, okay, what percent? I don't know. So write a P. So this is PBA, right? PB is equal to A. So the percent is, I don't know. The base is 1.2 million. So 1.2 million. Okay, let me write the whole number. So 1.2 million is this one, right? So that should be equal to how many retrievers? 172,841. So that's the equation. And from this equation, we can find P. Then P is equal to, divide each side by what? 1.2 million, right? 1.2 million. So we get this. Then P, this is a fraction, and they use the calculator. Then it will give us the value what? is approximately equal to 0.144. So when we convert this into a percent, just multiply, move decimal point 2 to the right. So that is 14.4%. So actually 14.4% of dogs and litters that were registered in the United States is the Labrador Retrievers. Okay, let's try problem 2. Okay, a student correctly answered 72 out of 80 questions. So the total number of questions is 80 and 72 is correct. So what percent of the questions were answered correctly? So write an equation. So what percent? I don't know. So let's make it a P, right? P. And then this is the base, isn't it? What percent of the question? So this is the base. And answered correctly. So let's find the amount. So the percent, I don't know the percent. So percent times the base is the amount. So we are looking for the amount. So the percent is a non-variable, and the question is what? 80. And the amount. Okay, the answered correctly. What's the number of answers correctly? The number of answers, the questions that were correct is 72 questions, right? 72 questions were correctly answered. So the amount is 72. Okay, so from this, let's find P. Then from this, P is equal to, divide each side by what? 80. Then this one is equal to, isn't it? 8, so 9, 0.9. This is 0.9. And 0.9 means 90%. So 90% of 80 questions were correctly answered. Okay, next, example 3. Okay, please read the question. Pause and read the question. Fully understand the question. All right. So 30.8% of the adult population in Kentucky smokes. So around 30.8% of the people in Kentucky smokes. And the number of adults in Kentucky is 3 million. The number of adults in Kentucky is 3 million. The question is, how many adults in Kentucky smoke? The question is, how many adults in Kentucky smokes? So we're looking for the number of adults who smokes in Kentucky. So let's write an equation. What's the equation? How many adults? I don't know, right? I don't know. So 30% of the adult population. So this is the base. So this is the base, right? So 30.8% of this smokes. So that's the amount. So we are looking for the amount. So percent times the base is equal to the amount. So we are looking for the amount. This is the amount. Okay. So percent is 30. Okay, 30.8% is what? Okay, 30.8% is equal to 0.308, right? So the equation will be 0.308. This is the percent times, what is the base? The base is the number of adults. The number of adults in Kentucky is 3 million. Okay, 3 million. Okay, let me write it here. So this is 3 million, right? 3 million is the base, which is 3 million, right? So write it down, 3 million. So that is the amount in Kentucky who smokes. This is the number of adults in Kentucky who smokes. So use the calculator, and then this will give you around 924,000. So the number of people, the number of adults in Kentucky who smokes is 924,000. Okay, the amount is what? 924,000 people, adults, smokes. Okay, number 3. The price of a digital camcorder is $895. And 6% of the sales, 6% of the sales tax is added to the price. So 6%, this means 6% of what? This means 6% of 895 is the sales tax, right? Sales tax. This is the sales tax. So how much is the sales tax? So sales tax is equal to 6% of 895. So we can write an equation. So sales tax, let's say this is an A. Okay. So sales tax is equal to 6% of, this is 0.06. 0.06 times the base, 895. So the amount, amount is the sales tax. The sales tax is, you use the calculator, then it gives around $53.7, right? So this is the tax, sales tax. Okay, so it's pretty much simple. There are 3 variables: percent, base. Multiply these two will give the amount. Amount can be sales tax or whatever the question is. Okay, next definition is about interest, finding the interest. Okay, basically the equation for the interest is this. Okay, interest comes from the product of principal, annual rate, and the number of years. So we call it interest is equal to PRT. PRT, printer. Can we say printer? PRT. Okay, PRT. So the interest amount, I means the interest amount for the number of T years. And the annual simple interest rate is, let's say, R%, like a 10%, 20%, 5%. And P is the initial amount, principal. We call it principal, the initial amount. P is the initial amount. Okay, P is the initial amount. Initial amount. So when you deposit like $1,000 into a bank, after a certain number of years, you will get interest, right? Interest based on the interest rate. So there are 4 variables: interest amount, principal, rate, annual simple. This rate is annual simple interest rate, and T is the number of years. Okay, number of years. If number of months is given, then we have to convert the month into years. Okay, example 4. In April, $8.72 in interest on an unpaid credit card balance of $545 were charged. So you didn't pay for your credit card balance, $545. So this is the base. So this is the base amount. Okay, this is the base amount. From this base amount, for 1 month, in April, 1 month, they charged you $8.72. So this is the amount that you charge. This is charged amount for 1 month, right? For 1 month. Then find the annual interest rate for the credit card. For the credit card, okay, annual interest rate. So the interest rate, what's the formula for the interest rate? Annual. This annual interest rate is P times R times T, PRT. And then the principal is $545. So this is the principal, base, which is the principal. Okay, this is the principal, right? Principal. Okay, so the principal is $545, and then we want to find out annual interest rate, which is R. And the interest amount for 1 month was $8.72. And the T. Okay, the period for this is 1 month, right? 1 month. 1 month. 1 month. So 1 month is equal to, isn't it? How many years is it? 1 over 12 years, right? 12 years. So this is the T value. So we want to find out the annual interest rate, annual, yearly interest. So T will be now 1 over 12 because 1 month is equal to 1 over 12 years. All right, so from this, let's find R. So R is equal to, people will write this. In this case, what we do, we gotta multiply. Let me rewrite this. 8.72 is equal to, isn't it? 545 over 12 times R, right? So from this, why don't we multiply, get rid of this fraction by multiplying each side by what? Reciprocal. Reciprocal of this number. So 12 over 545. All right, multiply each side. Then this all cancel out. This will give you, okay, use a calculator. 12 over 545. Okay, so this is, what is this value? Use a calculator, then this will be something like 0.192 is equal to R. Okay, so from this means R is equal to 0.192. Then R is equal to, okay, R is the percent annual interest, annual simple interest. So if we rewrite it, that will be 19.2%. It's a lot, right? It's a lot of percentage. So you have to pay 19.2% annually. This is the annual charge rate for this credit card. Okay, so when you convert the month to years, just divide month by 12. Divide the month by 12. So that is the number of years. So 4 months. In case 4 months, then what do we do? 4 divided by 12. 4 divided by 12. So that's the number of years. Okay, let's try next example. Okay, Clarissa purchased $1,000 bond that earns an annual simple interest rate of 6.4%. So, like a deposited, she deposited $1,000. She bought a bond, and the rate is 6.4%. So, after 1 year, she will get 6.4% of $1,000. So it will be $64, right? All right, and then how much must she deposit into a bank account that earns 8%? And a bank now gives you 8% annual simple interest rate. So that the interest earned after 1 year is the same. So because there are 2 accounts. One is a bond. She bought a municipal bond and then deposit some amount in an account. So the interest, both interest is equal. So for the bond, she deposit. Okay, let's say the amount in the for this bond is $1,000. That's the amount, right? This is the amount. What is the rate? Okay, this is the amount. The principal. Sorry, this is the principal, right? Principal. So this is the principal. The rate is 6.4%, which is 0.064, right? How many years? 1 year. Then, for the bank account, okay, this is the bank account. Bank account, the left side is the municipal bond. This is the bond. So for the bank account, I don't know how much, I don't know the principal. We have to find the principal, right? Principal, we don't know. But the rate is 8%, 8%, which is 0.08. And the time after 1 year, so 1. So using this, let's write an equation. Interest is equal to what? PRT, interest PRT. Interest is PRT. So the interest for the bond is what? $1,000 times 0.064 times 1, right? 1 year. Principal, this principal, rate, year. So this one should be equal to principal. I don't know what the principal is for the bank account. And the rate is 0.08 and 1 year. So from this equation, we can find P. So why don't we divide each side? Divide each side by what? 0.08, right? So that we can cancel out this 0.8. So from this, use a calculator. Use a calculator, then this will be 800 is equal to P. So the principal. So when you deposit $800 to the bank account with 8% annual interest rate, so that will be $64, right? So 8% of this 800 is $64. So that amount is same as the amount that you earn from the municipal bond, right? Municipal bond. Can you see? Do you understand these questions? Okay, so amount, the interest amount is PRT. So the interest in the bond should be equal to the interest in the bank account. So using this PRT, we can find the amount that you can deposit in the bank account. Okay, example 5. Please read the question. All right. Okay, to make a blue color, okay, 4 ounces of cyan must be contained in 1 gallon of paint. So here is 1 gallon of paint. Okay, 1 gallon. Okay, 1 gallon is equal to 128 ounces. All right. So here's a paint. And this paint contains 4 ounces. Okay, among these 4 ounces is a cyan. Okay, 4 ounces is cyan. So the rest is, so altogether, okay, altogether is 1 gallon. And this is cyan. 4 ounces of cyan, right? So out of this 1 gallon, 4 ounces is cyan. And we want to find the percent concentration of the cyan in the paint. So this question means, okay, let me rewrite the question. The question is this. Okay, 4 ounces of the cyan is what percent of the paint? So that's the question. Same as this question. Okay, 4 ounces. Isn't it percent the base? Percent. So we are looking for the percent out of this amount, out of this paint amount. The paint is 1 gallon. So this is the base, right? Base, which is 1 gallon. And this is the percent. And 4 ounce is the amount of cyan, amount. So we can write an equation. 4 ounces is equal to percent times the base. Base is 1 gallon, which is 128 ounces. So we will use the same unit, okay, ounces. Let's use ounces instead of a gallon. Then divide each side by what? 128. Then 4 over 128 is around, okay, in this case, use the calculator, then 0.03125 is equal to P. So this will give you the percent. So percent is 0.03125 So rewrite it, then it will be 3.125%, right? So move the decimal point 2 to the right. So that's the percent. Okay, for the word problem, we must understand the question. Okay, read the question again and again until you understand, so that we can write an equation. Okay, the problem number 5. Okay, read this. All right, the concentration of a cereal. Here's a cereal that is 25%. The concentration of a cereal is 25%. The concentration of sugar in a cereal is 25%. Sorry, of sugar in a cereal is 25%. So a bowl of cereal contains 2 ounces of sugar. So here is a bowl, right? Bowl. And then I don't know how many ounces of this cereal is. So let's say the amount. Let's say the amount is here. The amount of cereal. And there are 2 ounces of sugar in this. So how many ounces of cereal are in the bowl? So let's write an equation. So the amount is equal to principal time the percent times the base. Okay, the amount of sugar is 2 ounces. Amount of sugar is 2 ounces. And the percent is the one we are looking for. I'm sorry, the percent is 25%, sorry. Percent, okay, the percent, come here. So the concentration of sugar in a cereal is 25%. And how many ounces of cereal? That is the base, right? Base. And then, so the equation is this. The amount is 2 ounces of sugar. So this is 0.25, 25% of the base, right, So divide each side by 0.25. Divide each side by 0.25. So we have B. So isn't it 8 is equal to B? So the base is what? The base is the amount of the cereal in that bowl. So there will be 8 ounces, right? 8 ounces. It looks like 80. So 8 ounces is the amount of cereal in the bowl. Okay, so this is kind of percent times the base, PBA question. Okay, example 6. Okay, 2 cars start from the same point and move in opposite directions. So here it is point A, and one car is moving west, another car is moving east. So from the original point, okay, the speed of the car going west is 45 miles per hour, and the speed going to the right is 60 miles per hour. And okay, in how many hours will the cars be 210 miles apart? So the distance, after certain hours, and the distance from these 2 cars will be 210 miles. Make sense? So this will be the distance. So the distance between 2 cars will be 210 miles, and the speed going west is 45 miles per hour. Speed going to the right is 60 miles per hour. So actually the total distance, so the total distance is 210. So isn't the distance, the total distance is the sum of 2 distances going west and the right. So this will be the distance going west, distance going west. plus the distance going east, right? All right, before we do this, let's check the distance formula. Okay, distance formula, let's go to the, okay, over here, a little bit more up. Okay, the speed limit, the speed information is, we say 60 miles per hour, 35 miles per hour. So the speed is the numerator is the distance, 60 miles per hour, per means over, hour is the denominator. So the unit for the distance, unit for the speed is distance over time. So we can write an equation like this. The speed is equal to distance over time. And then using this, if we multiply both sides by t, then the distance is st, right? Distance is st. From this equation, then the time is distance over speed. Divide this equation by s. So we can have three different equations based on this speed application. Okay, uniform motion is related to the speed application. So speed is distance over time. Based on this, we can have distance is equal to speed times t, and time is distance of s. Or we can try this. We can write dst, distance, dst in triangle. Draw a horizontal fraction bar. So from this, we can write, distance is equal to the bottom one. Distance is equal to st. Or the speed. The speed is equal to, speed is described, right? Speed is equal to, as you see this one, this is distance over t. You can write it distance over t. Or the time. The time is this guy. So time is distance over s. Okay. So we can write three different equations. All right. So based on this information, so the total distance is 210, isn't it? 210. So distance going west. So distance is, what's the equation for the distance? Speed times time, right? Distance is speed times time. Speed times time, the distance, speed. So the distance going west is, I don't know, let's say, I'm sorry. Okay, distance going west is st, right? St. So this is st. The speed going west is 45. The time is, we don't know yet, so let's make it a t. And then the distance going east is the speed times time, right? So speed is 60 miles per hour, time is, we don't know yet. They travel the same number of hours, so t hours. So from this equation, let's find t. So that is how many hours will the car apart, 210 miles apart. All right, so let's simplify this equation. So 210 is equal to 45 plus 60 is 105t. And then divide each side by what? 105. Then this gives 2 equals t. So t is 2 hours, right? 2 hours. So after 2 hours, both cars, 2 hours after both cars started at the same point, they are 210 miles apart. Okay. So when we solve a speed question, always we have to use one of these three equations. Okay, let's try problem number 6. Okay, two cyclists start at the same time at different location at opposite ends of an 80-mile course. So two cars have 80 miles apart, and then they start at the same time. So they are getting close to each other, and then finally they will meet at certain point. So how long will it take? After they begin, after they start, how long will it take? When they meet each other. So two cars. So one car is starting at the location A, and the other car is starting at the location B. So they are approaching each other, and then they will meet at certain point. So car A is going, going right. The speed of the going to the right is 18 miles per hour. Going to the left is 14 miles per hour. So they will meet at certain point. So, starting from here, and then there will be a certain point over here. So all the way going this much, and then this guy is traveling this much. So let's say the distance, so this distance as a D1, like a DA, and let's say this is a DB. So the total distance is 80 miles, right? 80 miles is the sum of distance that car A traveled and the distance that the car B traveled. So what is the distance formula? Distance is equal to speed times the number of hours. So they, both cyclists traveled same number of hours, right? Same number of hours. So we can write an equation like this. So total distance 80 miles should be equal to, the distance that the cyclist started from location A is speed times the time. Speed. What's the speed of this guy? 18 miles per hour. How many hours? We don't know. T hours. Plus, the cyclist starting from B. So the speed is 14, time is T. And then simplify this. So 80 is equal to, 18 plus 14 is 32T. And then divide each side by what? 32T, right? 32. Then 80 over 32 is 2.5. 2.5 equals T. So this gives you the number of hours that both two cars tried. So 2.5 hours. So after two cyclists, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 30 minutes, after two cars started, they meet at the same point. Example 7. There is a moving sidewalk. Let's say moving sidewalk. Let me draw a moving sidewalk here. So here's the beginning and the ending location. So here is a person who is walking down this moving walk. The speed of the moving walk, the speed of the moving sidewalk is 9 feet per second. All right. And then the distance from here to here, the sidewalk is 150 feet long. All right. And then the speed of the person, speed of a passenger is 7 feet per second. 7 feet per second. So the question is, how long will it take the passenger to walk from one end of the moving sidewalk to the other side? So what will be the total distance of this passenger? The sidewalk is helping him to move faster, right? So the speed, actually the total speed will be the sum of the sidewalk and the speed of the passenger, isn't it? So the total speed of the passenger will be 9 plus 7, which is 16 miles per hour. So actually the passenger works at 7 feet per second, 7 feet per second. The moving sidewalk will help him go faster. So there will be 16 feet per second. So that's the speed of the person being carried. All right. And then how long will it take? So we are looking for the Time, right? Time. So the total distance. So the total distance, the distance is what? The distance formula is st, right? St. So the distance is the distance between the sidewalk is, the length of the sidewalk is the distance. So 150 feet is the distance. And then speed is what? Speed is 16, actually 16. Why is it 16? 9 plus 7, right? 9 plus 7. Okay, 9 plus 7 is the speed of the person being carried. And the number of hours is t. Okay, so let's find t. 16t. And divide each side by 16, right? 16. Then what is 150 over 60? 150 over 16 is 9.375 equals t, right? So you will take the passenger. So this means you will take the passenger how many seconds? 9.375 seconds. All right. Okay, let's try problem 7. This is the last one. A plane that can normally travel at 250 miles per hour. So let's say a plane is going this way. Okay, here's a plane. Does it look like a plane? I don't know. Maybe. Here's a plane. So the speed of the plane is what? 250 miles per hour. Okay, in calm air. Calm air means there's no wind blowing. No wind blowing. So then the speed of the plane is 250 miles per hour. And this plane is flying into a headwind of 25 miles per hour. Headwind of, this means going against, right? Going against the wind. Going against the wind. So that means wind is blowing this way. Wind is blowing against the direction. So the wind speed. So the speed of the wind is 25 miles per hour. So what is the total speed? So in this case, the total speed of the plane that is actually flying is what? Speed of the plane. Actually, the speed of the plane minus the speed of the wind, isn't it? Because the wind is reducing the plane's speed. So speed of the plane is 250 and then reduced by 25 miles per hour. So there will be 225 miles per hour. So this will be the actual plane speed. So let me write it out, actual plane speed, right? Actual plane speed. So we are looking for how far. Okay, how far can the plane fly in 3 hours? How many hours? 3 hours. So 3 hours is the time. And how far is the distance, right? Distance. So the distance is equal to speed times t. So using this equation, let's write the expression. So the total distance is this is what we are looking for. Then what is the speed of the plane? Actual plane speed? That's 250 miles per hour minus the wind speed times how many hours? 3 hours, right? So that equals 225 times 3 is 675. The unit is miles. Okay, so the plane actually flies 675 miles in 3 hours. Okay, what's important is the actual speed. The actual speed is if you're going against, then subtract. If we are going with the wind or going with the sidewalk, then it is the sum of two speeds. Okay, we are done.